So this whole exercise is related to alkanes and alkenes and some reactions of alkane and alkene, as well as drawing the isomers. So we have the table shows the structure of a 4 hydrocarbon. As you can see, different hydrocarbons are there named as P, Q, R, and S. The question is, why are compounds P, Q, R, and S known as a hydrocarbon? Why we call them as a hydrocarbon? What is the reason?
Their molecules contain carbon and hydrogen only.
So they have carbon and hydrogen only. You can also use your mic or a chat to state the answer. So those compounds which are having carbon and hydrogen, we call them as hydrocarbon. Compound P is saturated. What is meant by the term saturated? Here saturated with
Hydrocarbons whose molecules have all single carbon-carbon covalent bonds.
good. So they have a single carbon-carbon covalent bond, or they have a single bond within the structure. That's why they are known as saturated. So this saturated is not refers to solubility. This saturated is refers to the presence of a single bond. Compound P undergoes substitution reaction. What is meant by substitution reaction? How we define a
An
substitution?
atom or atoms replace different atoms in a molecule without changing the general structure of the molecule.
Good. So atom or group of atoms replace another atom or a group of atoms, that is known as the substitution. State conditions which we require for this reaction to occur. Compound P
UV
under,
light.
yeah, because compound P is an alkane. How we identify it's an alkane? Alkanes are those compounds which are having a carbon-carbon single bond throughout the structure. So for substitution reaction to happen or occur, we need ultraviolet light or UV light. Then write equation for this reaction. So what is P? Compound P contain 2 carbon atoms. So it is ethane
Ethane.
or ethane. And so we have to write a equation, a chemical equation. So E,
C2H6 plus Cl2 gives C2H5Cl plus HCl.
good. So substitution reaction, one chlorine will enter and another hydrogen will replace. Like the substitute, like chlorine replaces, so it will form C2H5Cl plus HCl. Compound R undergo addition reaction. Addition reaction, what is addition reaction? How we define the term addition reaction?
It is addition reaction because the bromine molecule will get added across the carbon-carbon double bond.
Or the term addition reaction also refers to a chemical reaction in which only one product is formed. So many reactants, and as a result, which will form one product, we call that as a addition reaction. Compound containing bromine is also formed. Draw the structure of this compound. So R undergo addition reaction with bromine means bromine is added to R. R is propene. So whenever alkene react, the double bond will turn into a single bond. And because it is reacting with bromine or Br2, so 2 bromine will be added to each of them. So the double bond turn into a single bond. And we have to show all the atoms and all the bonds. So this was CH2, so CH2 will be like this. Then this was CH, and this is CH3. Then the double bond was here. That double bond will break, and as a result, what will happen? The bromine is added to each of them. This is example of addition reaction. The structures of 5 alkenes A, B, C, D, and E are shown. What is the general formula of alkene?
Carbon-carbon double bond.
CnH2n.
Yeah. The general formula is
Yes.
CnH2n. Means the number of the hydrogen. You can also use chat, you can use your mic, you can use the screen annotation to answer. What is the molecular formula of alkene D? Molecular formula means like actual number of atoms.
C5H10.
So
C5H10.
C5, 5, then H10 are there. You can count or you can just understand from the general formula that number of hydrogen should be twice. Then predict which alkene will have the
Alkene
high,
E. It
will
has
have the high.
most carbon atoms.
Yeah, so boiling point increases as the number of carbon increase. So we'll say E, and reason is that there are more carbon atoms. As a result, more carbon atom, they will have a strong attraction between them. And if we have a strong attraction, we need more energy to change the state. Or we need greater amount of energy to change the state. Which alkene A, B, C, D, and E diffuse most quickly? Which is
Alkene it has
Alkene
least molecular
because
mass,
small
less carbon atoms, so less
speak out.
bonding present.
yeah.
So alkene A.
Alkene A because lower relative molecular mass. I'm writing in short MR, which is refer less number of carbon and hydrogen. So fewer hydrogen, carbon, or lower mass. Because whenever you refer diffusion, either refer to mass or temperature. So a student added a bromine to aqueous solution of E. When this bromine is actually a test for aqueous bromine. It's a test for presence of a double bond, because if there is a double bond, it will react.
Unsaturation.
Yeah, unsaturated hydrocarbon. So what is the
Orange
color for?
brown to colorless.
So it will be orange. Orange is,
Orange to color.
yeah. Look, remember one thing. When it is aqueous bromine, write orange. If it was a only bromine liquid, then it is red brown. So orange to colorless is the right answer. Then we have to draw the structure of a product which is formed. So the double bond will break 1, 2, 3, 4 carbon atoms are there. And you can draw like, because simple ways, what we'll do, we'll break the double bond. Yes, better don't write yellow. Usually we have like concentrated, like too much bromine is there. So don't write yellow here. Better write orange. If it is dilute, yes, it will be, but
This will be 1,2-dibromoethene.
this will be 1,2-dibromo butane, because 4 carbon.
Okay, yes. Yes, it butane. I accidentally said it.
So first and second position we have bromine. Why 1, 2? Look, how first position we have, or you can also say dibromobutane. First position we have first carbon having bromine, second carbon is having a bromine. So the name of this compound is 1, 2 dibromo, and 4 carbon atoms are there, so butane. So 1, 2 dibromobutane, or acceptable if you say dibromobutane. Di means 2, bromo is for bromine, and but because there are 4 carbon atoms. Two different alcohols can be produced from this alkene B. Draw the structure of these two. So what actually happened? Look, when it reacts with
Propan
steam,
1-ol and propan 2-ol.
good. So
It is
what
hydration reaction.
hydration reaction as water is added. So what actually happened, like example, if H2O is there, or which is HNOH. So what might happen? The hydrogen might add it to the first carbon, and OH might add it to the second carbon. So it will, OH will be there with the second carbon. Or second thing, what might happen? The OH might be attached to the first carbon and H might be attached to the second carbon. So we have to draw two different, just change the position of like OH attached with the first one and then OH attached with the second one. See, they mention show all the atoms and all the bonds. So when they say all the atoms and all the bonds, so even for OH, you should refers to that OH like this. So this is one, like second position OH, and you can also draw on the first position OH as well. As you want to draw two of them. State the reagent and the condition needed to produce alcohol B.
Steam.
So,
300 degrees Celsius, 6000 kPa, and
so
phosphoric acid as catalyst, and steam is the reagent.
yeah, reagent refers to a chemical which we use to carry out that reaction. That's right. And catalyst, phosphoric acid, 300 degrees centigrade, or usually it's like 300 degrees centigrade or 600 atm. Not 600 atm, 60 atm.
Uh,
60
I
atm.
wrote 6000 kPa.
Okay, you're right in Pascal, that's fine. The temperature for this reaction should be 300 degrees centigrade. And the catalyst, phosphoric acid is a catalyst. I will discuss this whole exercise because this is a very important part in paper 4. 450 is there, that is for Haber process and a contact process. Not 570, 450. In this question, propene is
Orange to
unsaid.
colorless.
So we add aqueous bromine. Whenever you add aqueous bromine, what will be the color change? It will be from orange to colorless. Propene can be produced by cracking of a long chain alkane. Pentadecane means C15 and H32 is cracked to produce one alkane and two molecule at a ratio 1:2. Like it is producing two propene. So you have pentadecane, like I'm writing it here, C15 is there and H32. That is pentadecane. They mention that it is producing two molecules of propene and one remaining is alkane. So two molecules of propene, prop means 3 carbon and it's in ene, so the number of hydrogen should be twice and there are two molecules. So we put 2 here. This is 2 molecular. So how many we are left with? There are total 15. Out of 15, we use 6 carbon. So how many carbon we are left with? 9. Because if you see 3 multiplied by 2, 6. 3 multiplied by 2, 6 carbons are used. Out of 15, 6 carbon are used here. So how many we are left with? 9. And there are 32 hydrogen and out of 32, we use 6 multiplied by 2, 12. So out of 32, if we use 12, how many we are left with? We are left with 20. So if you want to complete, it will be C9, H20 and 2 molecules of C3, H6. Is it clear, this one? Anyone having a question or doubt in this?
Yes, sir, clear.
Then propene can be converted into polypropene. State the type of polymerization that occurs.
Addition polymerization.
So whenever, yeah, that's right. Addition polymerization, whenever alkene undergo polymerization, it was always addition. And the polymerization exercise I have shared this week as a homework. So you will, in this exercise also some questions were there related to polymerization, but not too many. Now we have to complete a diagram for the section of the polymer. Just a minute, Rafi, one thing I want to explain, then you can annotate. So first, how to draw a polymer? First, propene is there. So prop means 3 carbon and there's a double bond. This is propene. So this will be CH3, this will be CH and this will be CH2. Whenever you have a monomer, you first thing what you do, you will rearrange the structure. So when we rearrange the structure, our monomer should appear like letter H. 2 bonds up, 2 bonds down. So these are the 2 carbon which are having a double bond. Whenever alkene is there, it will always undergo addition reaction. And alkene polymers are always addition. Condensation polymers can happen or occur if amine react with acid, or alcohol react with acid, or alcohol react with another alcohol. So here we have two hydrogen. The first carbon have two hydrogens, so one up, one down. The second one is having hydrogen, so it can be up or down, and then CH3. This is a monomer. How to draw a polymer? We draw the same structure, but without a double bond. And you can repeat the structure, and it is so on. So same thing happen. If you want to draw a polymer of it, you can use screen annotation to complete. So this will have HH, this will be CH3 and H. And again, like this is one part, one molecule. Then we draw the same, repeat the unit. This will be the second. Don't put bracket here, as we just need a repeat unit. So you don't need to draw a bracket around it. In question 7, ethane, which is C2H6, is a member of a homologous series called alkane. Ethanol, which is C2H5OH, is a member of homologous series called alcohol. Alkanes are hydrocarbon. What is meant by the term hydrocarbon?
Contain only hydrogen and carbon.
In compound, whose molecules contain carbon and hydrogen only.
So compounds which contain carbon and hydrogen only. Then you have to learn the general formula. All the members of a homologous series can be represented by a general formula. What is the general formula of alkane? So CnH2n plus 2, that's right. And for alcohols, CnH2n plus 1 OH. This will be plus 1. So CnH2n plus 1 OH. Memorize the general formula for alkane, for alkene, for alcohols, and carboxylic acid as well. State two characteristic other than having the same general formula for
same functional group and similar chemical properties.
Same functional groups and similar chemical properties. Ethane can react with chlorine in a substitution reaction. One essential condition, like whenever alkane react with
light.
So remember UV light is there. Sometimes they say conditions. So you can mention UV light and high temperature. But it's a singular as one essential condition. So for most of the condition which is required for this reaction to initiate, that is UV light. But even high temperature should be there if the question is about conditions. Then draw the structure of an organic product formed by substitution of one hydrogen. Like ethane is there. Ethane, which is C2H6. You can use the screen annotation and on any side of the screen to draw. React with chlorine. One substitution, one chlorine enter, one hydrogen leave. So C2H5Cl.
This will be one chloromethane.
One chloroethane. Yeah, even you can say chloroethane because it will always remain one, as the first carbon is always the one where chlorine is attached. Like if chlorine is attached on the left hand side, this is our first carbon. If chlorine is attached on the right hand side, this will be the second carbon. Yeah, this will be the first. Right hand side will be the first carbon. Then name the product of the substitution reaction between ethane and chlorine that does not contain carbon. So what else is there?
Hydrogen chloride,
HCl. So hydrogen chloride. Don't say hydrochloric acid. That will be considered as wrong, because hydrochloric acid, when we dissolve this, then it will form hydrochloric acid. But the product is hydrogen chloride. In question 8, the formula C4H10 represent the two different structural isomers. What is meant by the term structural isomer? What is the
compounds
definition?
which have the same molecular formula but different displayed and structural formula.
Yeah, so compound with the same molecular formula but different structures, you can also say that.
Structure and displayed formula.
Yeah, displayed formula, skeletal formula. There are different types of formulas for organic compound. If you just mention structure, different structure formula, that's fine. Then you have to draw.
We can draw butane and 2-methyl propane.
Yeah, but I prefer this is an alkane, so 2-methyl pentane will be propane will be there. That's right. So C4H10. So you have to and you have to show all the atoms and all the bonds. So four carbon atoms, first four carbon because it's an alkane. How to draw an isomer of alkane, as I explained to you. Whenever you're drawing an isomer of alkane, first draw the straight chain and then draw the branched. But branch cannot be like this one is the second one is having a methyl CH carbon 3 group, or this is 2-methyl propane. This is one. And what about, because we have to draw two. So what
But
about the
1N also.
butane, you mean? Because for alkane, we don't
Yes.
need the position. So the straight chain carbon, yeah, this is right. That's a branch one, and then the straight chain. The next one, all structural isomer of C4H10 are flammable. Flammable means they can catch fire. So we want write a chemical equation for combustion of C4H10, incomplete combustion. Just a minute. Just a minute.
Carbon monoxide is produced.
Yeah. So carbon monoxide is produced. So CO plus. So carbon monoxide will be produced. For balancing, what we usually do to balance, we start with oxygen. We start for balancing a combustion equation. We start with carbon followed by hydrogen and at the last other element. So if we have C4H10 and there is a it reacted with oxygen. As a result, it produced carbon monoxide plus water. Now we start balancing with carbon. There are four, so we put four, carbon is balanced. Then hydrogen 10, we put five, hydrogen balanced. Now oxygen 4 here and 5, 9. Like whenever we need an odd number, what we can do, we can say 9 by 2. Because like 9 by 2 multiplied by 2 will be equal to 9. So what odd number we need, that is by 2. And this is fine. If you write in exam, this is also fine. You will score the mark. Or what else you can do? You can multiply this whole equation by 2. So when I multiply this whole equation by 2, so this will become 2. This multiply by 2, this will become 9. This will become 8. And this will be 10. So as it is producing a carbon monoxide, so first balancing carbon, then hydrogen, and at the last other elements. And if you are using a fraction and you can want to convert into a whole number, just multiply all of them by 2. But if you don't write decimal, fraction is acceptable or the whole number, but not decimal. In question 9, ethane, propane, butane are members of the same homologous series. Name this series. What we call these members?
Alkanes.
So we call them as alkanes. Or alkane, you can also state two ways. Member of a same homologous series are similar. How they are similar?
Similar chemical
Same
properties and
chemical
same
properties
functional
and
group.
increase CH2 by each time.
Same chemical properties. Each member differ by
I
CH.
think we have to say similar.
Same general formula. No, chemical proper is similar. Chemical proper. Most of them are reacting in the same manner. Like example, if we react with any halogen, then with halogen they will have the same type of a reaction. for each member, but we need the similarity here, not the difference. Now in this question, 1 mole of a ethane, which is C2H6, contains this many molecules. How many molecules are there in 15 gram of ethane? So
We
first
will
we have,
find the moles and multiply it by the Avogadro's constant.
good.
The
So first,
molecular mass of ethane will be 30.
moles equal mass in gram divided by molar mass. Mass in gram is 15, and how to find the molar mass? Here carbon is
30.
12 multiplied by 2 plus hydrogen is 1 into 6. So 24 plus 6, that make 30. So means we get 0.5 moles of ethane. And according to question, if we
We'll
have 1
multiply
mole,
it.
if we have 1 mole contains 6 into 10 to the power 23, which is 6.02 exponent 23, which is also known as the Avogadro's constant or Avogadro's number. If 1 mole is there, it contains this many molecules. But we don't have 1 mole, we have half mole. If we have 1 mole, it contains this. If we have 0.5 moles, then it will be X. Cross multiply.
3.01 multiplied by 10 to the power of 23.
23 molecules. So first we got the moles, and you just compare that 1 mole contains this many particles. So if you have half mole, then it will be half of the total particles. Is it clear, this one? Anyone having a doubt or a question in this point? Okay.
Yes, sir. Clear.
Next question, propane react with a chlorine. So there's a reaction between propane and chlorine. Write a formula for a product which does not contain carbon atom.
HCl.
HCl. And here you need a formula. Before that, yeah, it is fine here because they write a formula. They ask for a formula. So you should write HCl. Don't write hydrogen chloride. Previous question they asked, write the name of a compound other which does not contain carbon. Here they ask, write a formula, so you should write HCl. You are not supposed to write hydrogen chloride. Then draw the structure of organic product, because if propane, which is C3 and H8 reacted with chlorine, a substitution reaction, 1 chlorine enter, 1 hydrogen leave,
This will be 1
C3,
chloropropane.
1 chloropropane plus HCl will be there.
Yes.
Even you can draw 2 chloro because they did not like it. Maybe hydrogen, the second hydrogen is replaced from the carbon, but it is fine. Any one you have to draw. And whenever you draw the structure,
Substitution
yeah,
reaction.
name the type of this reaction. So what we call this reaction as we draw the product. So we call that as a substitution. Alkanes with chlorine undergo substitution. The next, aqueous bromine was added to a sample of ethene. So we have ethene and we add aqueous bromine. What is the color change seen? So whenever
Orange to colorless.
so it will be orange. Yeah, that's right, to colorless. So it's the same question you find repeated in different ways. Explain in terms of bonding why there is no color change when aqueous bromine is added to ethane. So when aqueous
Ethane
bromine
is
is,
saturated
the ethane is saturated, or there is no
with a
reaction
single
actually.
carbon single bond, so it does not undergo addition reaction.
Yeah, you does not react with alkane. You can mention and why. Mainly, you have to tell why it does not react. The reason is, so why there is no color change, because it does not contain double bond. Carbon carbon double. That's why bromine can react with alkene but not with alkane. So correct answer, even it is obvious that because there is no reaction, that's why there is no color change. But you have to tell why there is no color change. Then there are 2 structural isomers of C4H10. It's the same thing we did
We will
before.
draw
So
2-methyl propane and butane.
yeah, that no need to draw again. We did just in the previous one of the question. So you have to draw 4 carbon atoms in a straight chain, and you have to draw 3 in a straight chain and 1 as a branch, and then put hydrogen according to number of the bonds available. Then butane is formed. Butane is formed when longer chain carbons are cracked. Complete the equation for this. So we have C6 and H14. So C6 and H14, out of 6, 4 are used, so 2 are left. And out of 14, 10 are used, so 4 are left, so C2, H4. So you always check how many bonds are left. Then a compound, this is related to empirical and the molecular formula. A compound contains 85.7% carbon and 14.3% hydrogen. We have to calculate the empirical formula. So how we carry out and how we find the empirical
Divide
formula?
percentages by molecular masses
Good. So this will be
and find
85.7 and 14.3. First you divide by atomic mass. So carbon is 12, hydrogen will be 1. What's the answer? 85.7 divided by 12?
7.142.
7.14. And this will be 14.3. Then the smallest value in the combination, we divide with the smallest value in the combination. So we divide both of them by 7.14. What's the
And
answer?
it
This
is
will, and
one
this one,
ratio 2.
1:2. So the
So
empiric
it is CH2.
CH2. Then the molecular formula we need. So molecular formula is empirical formula times
Multiply by
N.
N
Empirical
is
form,
molecular mass over empirical mass.
right. So N is equals to molecular mass, which is 112, divided by empirical mass, which is carbon is 12 and hydrogen is,
14.
so total 14. 112 divided by
It is
14,
8.
8. So value of N is equals to 8. So this 8 is multiplied with carbon and this multiplied with hydrogen. So it will be C8 and H16. So what is the name of this compound?
This is E octene. Octene.
Okay.
Octene, good. Octene is also known as the gasoline or petrol. No, sorry, octene was there, not octane is petrol, not octene. Question 10. Alkenes and carboxylic acid are both families of a similar compounds. State the term used for a family
Homologous
of,
series.
so we call them as a homologous series. General formula of alkene. CnH2n.
CnH2n plus 2.
Alkene. ENE. If it was alkene, then
Ah,
H2n.
yes, sir. Okay.
If it was ane, then what you said was right. Then we have a structure of butene is there. Aqueous bromine is added. What will the color change? Same question.
Orange to colorless.
It will be from orange to colorless. What is meant by the term addition reaction? We did like more react. Only one product is formed, more reactants, one product.
Can we
Them as
say reaction where a simple molecule adds across a carbon-carbon double bond of an unsaturated molecule?
You can say that, but because we have to write a journal definition of addition, not only refers to organic reaction, it's journal definition of addition. Those reactions which produce only one product we call addition. What you mentioned will remain specific for organic chemistry. Then write a chemical equation for reaction between butene and bromine. So butene like C4H8 will be there and reacted with bromine. So what will the product? It will be C4H8Br2. So because addition reaction, one product is there, so just add up. Butene form a polymer. Name the polymer which is formed from this. Which polymer it will form?
Polybutene.
So but you have to mention it's polybutene.
Yes.
Yeah, because the name of the polymer is after the monomer. So if it monomer was butene, polymer will be polybutene. If monomer was butene, polymer will be polybutene. Then name and draw the structure of isomer. So if you want to draw an isomer, what we see?
Butanine.
Butanene we can draw, and so draw the structure of butanene. Butanene, or you can also say butene. It's the same thing. Whenever you draw the structure, show all the bonds and all the atoms. Right. So what is meant by the term hydrocarbon compound contain carbon and hydrogen? The general formula for alkane and alkene is there, and then yeah, CnH2n plus 2 and CnH2n. And then the same way that finding the empirical and molecular formula, you divide by atomic mass, you divide by smallest value, and then take a simplest ratio in a whole number, and the molecular mass divided by empirical mass. You will get this molecular formula of compound X.